I love it. So I'm going to begin. I have multiple decks here. I'm a natural birth seer, and I am excited to share this information with we. Let's see. So I'm working with multiple activation decks right now. I'm going to do the astrological messages necessary to bring forth the information that's needed for those who are birthed in those moments. I'll give multiple examples. I'll do more than one spectrum based on the multiple layers going on in those birth signs. Some of them will resonate with you. Most of them will. All right. Let me stretch my legs. I've been sitting in like, I'm good. Okay. I'm like, on the floor. As I was in you. So Aries. Enchanting my cards. Ready? Shows looking at what the possibilities are. Identifying what the possibilities are. Those whose birth signs are Aries. Shows to see what the possibilities are. What is it that has come into fruition with the Wheel of Fortune card reversed? Be grateful, be thankful, be happy, be blessed, and the acknowledgement that things are really very blessed and blissful. Sorry, my crown's on sideways. Sorry. Shows with the Emperor with the number 4. So with the 10, the oneness integration with infinite possibilities, we come into the Emperor with stability, centered in. We have eyes of wisdom. We have strength of lions. We have soul of victory. We rise in this. Shows I lead with wisdom, integrity, and virtue. Aries, be acknowledging that. Next shows earth light, embracing the soul within. Being an Aries, you acknowledge that you are birthed in the beginning of spring. For some places that is cold, for some places that is comfortable. But acknowledging that with smoky quartz, you must integrate through the death into the light. The expansion wisdom of one that is to see the end into the beginning. Because you see from the Pisces to the Aries what has occurred from the winter forward. And suddenly fortitude, there's many producing, many nourishment, sacred, many getting created and birthed. So beautiful. Next is, let me see. Shows Aries, you need to work on sacral healing and reintegrating into the community as a spiritual being. Feeling comfortable enough to speak the truth and holding not deceptions against the youth. Working with the ability to accept that you have to open up the third eye, like the first eye. For some of us, we acknowledge that because the other eyes didn't open before the other eye opened. And accepting being loved, uplifted, protected. It's safe. Don't worry. Don't worry. Please don't worry, love it. All right, so Aries, Taurus. If you're Aries, Taurus, we'll do your readings next. Let's see how far we can get to this before I have to be stealth mode. I have to like do sacred sessions today, but I have to get this accomplished also. Shows that you're on this sideward path. So if your cusp is Aries, Taurus, your birthing moments between the, I'm not going to say 19th, the 20th to the 21st. And at max 19th to 23rd or 22nd. But in reality, the cusp is like literally 20, 21, because that's when that falls on. That's when that's like the accurate, like, shows the Hanged One with number 12, which equals the ability to heal and be bountiful with the integration of beingness and a stability within as well. There's no longer a need for sacrifice because there's a choice, there's options, and you're being given the option and the choices. So if you're working through the integrations and you're not acknowledging the wisdom that's being dealt to you, like a hand of opportunities, there's one door, there's another, there's many doors. Which ones are you going to choose? And if you're not choosing them to help you heal, then you acknowledge the Hanged Man position. But if you do, then you acknowledge that floating, that I can integrate with the experiences, so the acknowledges of what we've experienced, and then I can help myself rise up from those experiences and no longer go through that just listlessly on a wobble. The next one shows temperance with positive change. You have to have the step forward to integrate the stability necessary to move beyond, don't want to call it shadows, the past experiences that caused you to feel like you have shadows within your souls and hearts. It is not for you to hold on to. If you continue to reiterate the devastations from the past experiences and feel them in your vessel, then you must heal. That's that. She is working with that integration to have stability so that does not continue to reiterate in the existences. You've had past experiences. Do comprehend that you are no longer in those experiences. Congratulations for graduating, but acknowledge that graduation. Do not just continue to allow that to reiterate in those ways. She was bathing in La Luna for infinite healings. Many types. With the wolves howling, there's one that is, so there's this card. My hair, I had that in my hair, that color before an accident. I used henna, and somebody mixed the henna box with black instead of red. Shows that healing, that deep wound healing, and that expansional healing, heart healing, soul expansional wellness. Shows through strengthening through the integration of positive changes. To no longer hinder yourselves as like victims, but see a being as protected. The next is Taurus on there to get red. Shows contract with the number 6. So that says that you're working through karmic connections. You have to acknowledge you don't deserve to continue to suffer in those ways. You don't need to deal with that in that way. There has to be transformation. So you have to actually look into the experiences of what's necessary to heal through the activations of awareness. You must put your right foot forward or your left foot, which one feels more comfortable, but acknowledge your grief areas. What must you heal from? Shows working through having purpose. So if you felt like somebody was like, no, you can't do that, you don't have it in you, you just go get a real job, go do something else that's normal and regular, and they don't really believe what you're talking about or what you're speaking about. So you have to acknowledge, well, who are they and why are they there? Creating purpose. Acknowledging the purpose within, acknowledging what the options are. Shows grounded or expansional self-awareness. So I'm going to bring in an activation to bring expansional self-awareness. So the next is Taurus Gemini. Oof, I need to get on my knees or something. Goodness gracious. I'm good. So the next is Taurus Gemini. Shows healing through the sacral chakra. Archangel Ariel is saying, why are you not asking for help? The loved ones, the creators are asking, why are you not asking for help? You must be humble in the action of asking for help. You feel tied up with multiple activities. It looks like you're multitasking, so you have yourself there, bits and pieces of you scattered in multiple places. It shows relationship as well as a sacred trinity. Something has come up where you have to have a positive change, but you're looking at it as if you're the victim, not the victor. Like you're like okay with that. You think that's cute and everything in those ways, but you also acknowledge that you're kind of tied up and you want to do something about it. So you have to seek where there's options to get free, to unwind yourself in the moments that you can, because otherwise it's just too emotionally overwhelming. The next shows that there's not an integration, there's not a balance. So that's the relationship. You have to have a balance inside the relationship. If there's not a balance, if there's not an integration, that could be with friendships, with family, with your own self relationship. You have to acknowledge what's happening and how are you integrating yourself into your experiences and what will you do next. A comprehensive solution is knowingness with celestite. Make my own jewelry, my crowns, my everything that I'm wearing mostly. Except these were made by a lover who's Cherokee Nation with prayers. I created the symbol to be put, I sent the symbol over to be placed on there. The next is that you have to work through the integration of accepting with Hecamer Diamond to have an integration of oneness. Because it showed itself with reverse, it shows that there has to be an integration. Stop your prejudices. Stop it. Realize that we're all family and don't put yourselves above each other. Love each other. Even if you're going toe to toe, just love each other and just like uru on the duck's feathers. If they're bothering you, let it slide off. Don't let it tap in and shake you up inside. You got to work on being strong through the experiences and not letting it affect you or ill-affect you. Because we must rise up in a purity, in an honor, in a sacredness, in a divinity as beings. The next is Gemini. To make it special. What's that one say? Says resurrection, that there must be a reintegration with the Trinity within the beings. and the relationships that are experienced outside of the vessel. Shows returning, like as if being reborn, rebirthed, renewal. It doesn't actually say that all in the card, but look at this. True transformation, enlightened divinity, expansional wellness, and healing. I don't like reading them word for word on there. I have my visions of what they are, so my visions are stronger than what they write. Shows 2 and 1. That's a beginning, a start, a renewal, a rebirth. Also, with the number 3, the Trinity, the sacred Trinity. Shows homeward traveler, completion, reunion, and return. So this says that there's a relationship that's going to be able to return that is stable in a sacred way, in a pure way. That's going to help bring about healing. It shows vibrational acknowledgement, spirituality, and no longer holding contempt against others. That you're going to be working on other lives, other past lives, and healing through the experiences. Shows that you have to be humble. Shows that you've been very cruel to others and that you have to change your ways. Shows that there's going to be dealt a hand to you that's going to make you acknowledge that you are not being calm. And they're going to see that. They're going to see that you have a fit of anger and they're going to take action. Shows in that action that they're going to take, you have to acknowledge their spiritual path. You also have to acknowledge how to align so that you no longer are acting in those sorts. Shows massive anxiety because of who you have been. Shows that you have to acknowledge that you are not allowed to just take away those who needed your help. That you were not supposed to attack others or mistreat them. It shows earth light. It shows that you have an option to heal with Gaia, with earth, with the experiences in earth experiences, and that you have to change your ways and your paths to bring about positive changes. It's not an acceptable behavior to harm others. If you've already crossed over that path and you're a Gemini, the answers are very positive. Shows that the way that you have to do things new is to be a bringer of joy and positivity, to align in a light path, to bring about purity increasing in the expansional awareness of divinity as a spiritual being, no longer just there judging others in a negative way. The next, I had to do both sides because there's more than one, because this Gemini has, there's a twin, there's a duality, so it depends on which side they're on. So that there's 2 readings, it doesn't just depict only one of them has to suffer. It shows there's positive and there's also choices that have to be made. And in the duality of Geminis, they look at it as if there's, there's a right and there's another choice. And if it's off keister, if it's in a wobble, then some moments they hurt themselves because others don't want to deal with them. So they have to have a perfect integration within their beings to be able to have a functionality with others. Otherwise, beings just see them as fake. And but when they're legit on their movement, then they're not as seen as fake. And if they're closer to the Taurus Gemini spectrum of that cusp, then it's really beneficial to them because then they get to have the empathy of others too. Like to help them through some experiences, they get empathy because they're acknowledged as having like a gentleness and a softness. But not always if they're harming others, and it's not the same, obviously. The next is Gemini Cancer on there. Gemini Cancer. I have so many of these to do right now. Ooh. Shows number 42. Stability, integration with relationships. It shows the tree of light and expansional awareness of the connections. So, dear loved ones, if you are a Gemini Cancer cusp, what you're working through is the integration processing of there's multiple aspects of what's going on, what's happening. And I really honestly have to be able to be peaceful and comprehend it as a being. I don't have to go at it toe to toe, but I get to see it as an integrator, as a peacemaker, as a solver, as a communicator, as a knight or a hero or a warrior in the experiences. Working with the wisdom from within, expanded from the experiences. What makes light her mood? What kind of humor helps the experience? Really acknowledging the blessedness of the kinship and the group library. The next shows the secret. So that's that stability, integration with loyalty, a strong loyalty. A loyalty so deep and so true that it's not going to betray those who would promise not to betray in those ways. They're secrets that have been kept. And also wondrous experiences to experience because of the loyalty level. Shows insight. It shows working with the tools that have been gifted. If you've been gifted certain types of crystal beings, certain types of tools to work with, acknowledge what they are and work with them the way that you're meant to. I attempted to make a sacred tea with a fancy teapot, but I haven't been trained properly, but I tried it. I did it. I almost did. I figured it out, and then I didn't do it completely, but I did it good. I did it fine. I think I did exactly as I was supposed to because it's already been used before. So it gets like lighter naturally. And they look like blue pea flowers in there. I posted a picture of those the other day. All right, so that's Gemini Cancer. Any other messages for Gemini Cancer? The 4 cards in my hand, okay. Shows the reverse of the mirror. No longer allowing others to reflect themselves upon you, and don't reflect yourselves upon them. With 28, relationship based, has to do with the partnership that feels like it's supposed to be long lasting. Shows high vibrations, integratively being mindful to each other and empathetic towards each other. Shows integrating with the in sacred abilities, like the comprehensive abilities. The next is another number 5 with resurrection, rebirth, and renewal. The next is homeward traveler, completion, reunion, and return, coming home to the partner. And this may have to do with multiple types of beings depending on what your rising signs are. Also, I have not chosen to do that yet. That's going to take me a bit. I'd rather sing them because I like to sing better than I like to talk about it like that. It feels much better to my soul. Okay, maybe I'll sing for a little bit for some. The next is Cancer sign. Ooh, it looks like there's betrayal there. Shows that there's truth and revelations, comprehensions. There is some betrayal. So those of you who are birthed on like the 12th to the 22nd, 23rd, and I believe it's July, I want you to be acknowledging. It's the 12th to the 23rd. There has to be changes made. It's just that beings are watching you. They're totally watching your decisions, what you're capable of doing, and you have to be ready for when they seek guidance. So acknowledge that self-worth and door to value. The next shows Cancer Leo. Shows second chakra with Archangel Ariel. Again, this is not just one, this is a few of you now. Or I guess toi. And it shows there has to be healing through the identification of what the Trinity is within you and your expansional souls. And do not feel alone. It shows you're feeling alone. You need to not feel alone. With the number 6, it shows you have to reconnect spirituality into the integration of your experiences. It shows that there has to be sacral healing, which is trusting the ningle, trusting the intuition and the inner guidance. Don't get on that highway that day. Maybe choose a different cheese, you know, something that changes the way that you do things completely. Because you just have to. Like I had to stop eating animals and drinking, consuming them in those ways because they're beautiful. Did you know the word animal is considered sacred soul? That's a translation, is like sacred soul. Let's see. So Cancer, then Cancer Leo shows knowingness with Celestite. Knowingness, being aware of what's happening. Shows contracts. You need to be aware the contracts that are going to come in are going to be able to be helping you on your path, on your journey, and see it as a blessing. Those of you who graduated, those of you who are working on graduating, you need to work on releasing attachments for positive change. The contracts are not considered that. The contracts are considered loving relations. Those who are Cancer Leo. Oh, I already did Cancer Leo. Did I just do Cancer Leo? Yeah, I did. Did I? Okay, I'm going to do Leo. Leo, you have to work on being more positive than you have been with Peridot. Peridot wants to come through to help you to be a bringer of joy. I'm going to bring an activation of that to bring forth. Healing through the integration, and again we have the Earth-like card comes up. Look how close the integrations of the astrological signs are together now. So with this light, we're going to activate this into the integration to help bring about positivity. This says holistic healing. This says a holistic practitioner. This says spiritual botany. Remembering the plant medicines and how they help you, what you're nourishing with, and what you're experiencing. We are eternal. Yes, we are. The next is Leo Virgo. I know that I realize that. That's why me as an infinite light being, I'm able to give these messages because I work with my intuition also. All right, thank you. So the next is Leo Virgo. Shows releasing the expectations of the once wanted dream. The journey that was sought to be had. Because you chose not to walk away. Says you no longer feel envy. So this is why there's now an opportunity for a new relationship that is for stability. The next one is Virgo. So the next is Virgo. With Virgo, there is I'm not even going to have to pull cards, but I'll do it for you because I know that that's important. I really don't feel like pulling cards. I'm just going to tell you what Virgo is about. So if you're Virgo, you know, like a tsunami, like a tornado, like a whirlwind of energy, like magnetized energy, and that's what you're working through right now. And for you to deplete that, you have to be able to integrate with the other elements as well. So I see you having to tap into fire and the earth elements, that you have to reconstruct your vessel and your being. You have to purify, you have to detox, hardcore detox, like massive detox. I'm talking baths, I'm talking anointing oils, I'm talking nourishments. What are you drinking? Blessing them, praying over them to heal your vessels, because what you put yourselves through. So you have to return to the divine within, the divinity within. Be. The next is Virgo Libra. Virgo Libra, I'm going to pull a couple of cards for the Libra part of the Virgo Libra. And the Virgo is going to be integrated with what was told just before that. Shows that you have to reintegrate with La Luna, with the waves, with the oceans, with the lakes, with the rivers, with the sacred springs and streams, with the snow flow and the rainfalls, the expansions within the waters. You must reintegrate with the divinity within, When La Luna appears, or La Sol, the sun or the moon, it's reminding us to tap into the divine light within. We're reminded to work with our intuition and our intelligence with our intuitions. The next is Libra on there. With the Libra, I'm going to work with Bill's cards. Bill is a love of light being with a whole treasure chest of cards and gave this to me right before passing, transforming. I went over there to help Bill to transform. I gave a beautiful salve that I make that they put onto those who are preparing to transform, to take them out of pain completely. So the card that came through for the Libra shows the reverse of the Tower, which means that it's already been deconstructed, the parts that had to be removed, and already in the process of being healed through. Shows that with positive changes, being transcendent, not focusing on time, not focusing on past, but being in the present experience, being accepting of the present experiences. It says working through the alchemy of creation. So practicing when you wake up, I am worthy, I am loved, I'm going to be able to function, and this is going to be beautiful. Raising the vibrations and the intentions to move forward. The next is Libra, Scorpio. I'm going to use these ones instead. So Libra, Scorpio. Libra, Scorpio. If I say it'll be easier for me, probably. So it says Libra. So Libra, Scorpio, working on the temple path, the oneness integration for spiritual identification. Who am I? What is my purpose? It shows you have to do root healing to reconnect to the divinity within, to have the positive changes. You cannot just be sexual and lustful. You also have to raise up to spiritual levels. Shows then there's stability with the integrations. Then relationships are very nice and peaceful. But you have to work through your sexual tensions and acknowledge like that there has to be healing in those realms. The next is Scorpio. Shows Scorpio. Embrace wishes granted, healing, integrations. Shows releasing of not having a balanced, integrated relationships. Don't blame yourselves. It shows that there's not going to be the door to romance for you right now because you're not focusing on that. You're focusing on your wishes being granted pertaining to material. So finances, abundance, prosperity. Not as much the sexuality because it's already been gifted in those ways. It's been plenty. And it's not a thing now. The next is Scorpio, Sag. Shows that there's a release of the caring of the connection. So a relationship is ending there. Because it has to for positive changes because there was deceit. Other intentions. Shows, but do not worry because the door to romance will reappear. There'll be a stability because you'll both be on that ready path of integrations with the double threes. Shows there will be balance. There will be integration. It will be peaceful and comfortable. The next is Sag. Shows storm warning. Do not hesitate to move forward, to Do not be afraid of the storm that is gathering there. Do not fear it, but face it. Do not be undecisive. Be strong in the intentions. Trust that you have to make a choice and do not be weak or flimsy on it. Show strategy. Strategize. Work through it with a strategy. Shows with the crown healing, with Uriel coming forward to help move certain mountains, to help make decisions correct. The next is Sag Capricorn. Shows the next is Capricorn. Shows second chakra, Archangel Uriel, coming forward with an ability to help to remove certain obstacles. With the 3 and the 6, it shows with the Trinity the acknowledgement of the spirit, the acknowledgement of the psychological wellness, as well as the vessel, the heart, the beingness. The next shows the Sun with a oneness integration, with birth, with child, with expansions, with healing, with bliss, with prosperity and healing in the integrations. It shows that there's a lot of healing happening because of the openness and the acceptance. So there. The next is Capricorn. I'm going to reshuffle these. I'm going to do these ones instead. I was told to do these ones. So the next is Capricorn. Okay. Shows clearing, energy clearing, washing with malachite, acknowledging that there has to be a purification. So what I see is that there's been depletion because of the experiences emotionally. It was a lot to work through the things. You may have suffered extreme anxiety during the quarantining, and now there's a freedom and you're like wild and free, but then you're also like, wow, did I do too much? And so I want you to acknowledge that energy. Why do you feel that way? Working through calmness, returning the calm expression. Now there's a choice in that. Notice it came to the side, which means that there's a choice, there's an option if you get to do that. The next shows the lunar path, the spiritual path of light. So when La Luna is shining, acknowledging the way that the waters flow in, and align yourselves within the spiritual awareness that you're also connected to Moon. And just as the Gaia and Earth is, with the waves that the waters roll in, and the being of a Capricorn is very aquatic also. Be acknowledging. A Capricorn Aquarius, also aquatic. I'm going to work with these again because these are aquatic cards created by aquatic light beings. They're called liquid light, crystal healing. So it looks that you have to reconnect yourselves to the divine, holistic, botanical options for healing. Relying on seaweed is lovely, but you have to integrate that. It shows that when you do, then it's going to help your brain candy, your brain food and your heart food, which gets you creative again. And it'll help you heal through lacking confidence and wisdom. Like you feel like you've been kind of walking around without your brain functioning. And it's going to help you with the Akashic memory so that you don't have to feel like your brain's not functioning. You acknowledge that there's other knowledge there for you to gain and acknowledge. Shows calm expression. Shows you have to work through calm expression. The next is Aquarius. Oh, there's my other cards. I was like, wow, did I only bring like a short deck of them? No. Hello. All right. Oh, my vessel. Oh, stretch. All right, the next is Aquarius. Aquarius. It really feels like they're like letting off backpacks of energy. Oh my gosh, it says letting go. That's funny. Before I even pulled it, it does. It looks like you have to let go of the burdens. Like just like if it's not yours, let it go. Letting go. Let go of the things that belong you that are not yours to have and hold. So if you're Aquarius, I want you to acknowledge it's not your burden to hold. It's not your baggage, baby. And it's going to help you heal because you've been really congested. Shows that the heart has to heal. With the healing heart, shows it's reversed. It says that you can heal completely by letting go. So I'm going to pray in an activation to help with that. Okay, the next is another card. Shows healing through the inner child. I'm going to reverse that. We're going to do the activation. I'm going to put that in the middle. Doesn't want to be in the middle. Doesn't want to be near it. Letting go from the childhood, the inner childhood experiences. And then I'm going to bring heart healing into that. And into the back of it. And letting go. There. And letting it go. Those experiences. Yay! Success. The joys of being an alchemist. Let's see, Aquarius. Next is Aries. Oh, sorry, Aquarius, Pisces. Some of you are like, what about Aquarius, Pisces? And I'm like, I'm sorry. Okay. I'll keep it aquatic. Shows you have to acknowledge that you are special. The unlimited self, the card, the unlimited self was revealed. And it shows because you've not been having patience because of the fact that you do not see abundance there and you do not feel protected. But the way you have to heal through that is acknowledging that you are also a star child. So I'm going to bring about the protections. Let's see, first the unlimited self, being a light being. The next is practicing patience. The next is abundance. Fully expanded for us who are ready to receive that blessing, protection. No harm to you. Okay. Next is Pisces. Shows purification is urgently needed. Purification. The next is universal, working with the oneness integration with others. You need to work on harmonizing with others. Stop thinking that you're better than them. And also the realization that it's not just you, that there's an integration of multiple beings present. You have to also acknowledge your actions. And so let's see. Spiritual guidance is what's going to be the helpfulness to help you work through those experiences. So purification, I'm going to do it from backwards forward. So realization of spiritual guidance. I'm going to put this right there. Okay. The next is purification. Purification of realization. The next is purification of the thoughts. The next is purification of the harmonization. Harmonizing. Okay, and the next is Pisces, Aries. So Pisces, Aries is Aries, Pisces is mine. I could have started with mine, but I decided to do it like this because it's like the transformation. Okay, let's see. Working through conscious feelings. So being aware of what is being felt. What is being felt and why. The next one is acknowledging the inner light as a solar angel, as a light being, as a sacred divine presence. And the conscious feeling with that. Being very pure. The next shows self-love, healing through self-love. Because we love so deeply, we also have to love ourselves enough to take care of us too. The next one is to practice the breath of light, to integrate through the core and the divine truth. The next shows purification. And I'm going to pull some more cards. Shows working with the crown energy, allowing the access to the data inside to be expanded. Shows that the beings, all beings will see that there is a purity and a way to get to the temple, the sacred temple. So it shows activating through the root chakra to be able to integrate a passion so divine that's sacred and pure, to expand it beyond illusions. It shows the sun, which is birth, which is childbearing, which is also integration with love relationships, feeling blissfulness, abundance, and prosperity, and beautiful, pure love. Shows that the second chakra is lit up, which shows even more that their womb is lit up as well. And that you have to heal and work through being appreciative for what you have and what you're gifted with. And I'm working on that. I'm very thankful. It shows no more hostilities. It shows the beings who have been hostile are being removed and there is no need to worry. Thank heavens. All right. Blessed loves, thank you for being present. I gotta go work. Prayerfully this was healing for you too. Asham. And I'll do these once, like each that I'm supposed to, as often as I can. Thank you.